Good morning. How we doing? Early stream. Yeah, so I don't know if that's too loud. That seems loud to me. How you guys doing? This is very intense. Actually, I see Kimchi's video. Let me just put Kimchi's Dearly Beloved collection on. How we doing? Yeah, I don't know what early is for you. It's 11 p.m. Jeez. Yeah, I wanted to do this. I wanted to have some kind of Kingdom Hearts content to like stream out before I did MSQ for Final Fantasy 14, because like I've had a lot of people asking for like, hey, when when do you get a stream so I can watch? Because my streaming times aren't really European friendly. I don't think. I think I start at like 12 a.m. for you guys. So yeah, I wanted I put this tweet out yesterday because a couple days ago someone had asked me like, oh, what got you interested in Kingdom Hearts? Like, what hooked you? Because I've been trying to get into it and I couldn't. And I was like, that's a great question. I have no idea. Right? Because like I've always grown up with it, so I never really thought about what kind of drew me in the first place, or like what kept me around, right? It's just like always been there. So it was just like, it's always been there. So why would I not play it, right? Yeah, anyways, I figured I'd read some of these comments. Oh, hey, Buns. I didn't know Buns commented. So, yeah, I'll just kind of read, and then if you guys want to throw some in chat while you're watching, I'll try to read those too. So Princess Kaora said, the Disney fan service drew me at first. I was 10 when the first game came out, but the characters and storylines are what kept me around 20 years later. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's probably what made me play in the first place, was seeing like Disney characters on the box art. My older brother had gotten it, and so it was always like on our game shelf, right? But yeah, that's so cool. 20 years. Wait, has Kingdom Hearts? Oh, I guess it is the 20th anniversary. Jesus Christ. Whew. Moon Angel Meg says, the story, gameplay, and music, the story never bored me, and it was thrilling to see each new game fit into the story up to that point. The gameplay has always been fun in each game, and the music is perfect. God, I love Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, Meg actually has done a couple of commissions for me. They're a great artist. So if you guys are looking for somebody, they have their commissions open. Bun says, for me, it's the characters, combat, vibrant, flashy, Disney fun, and the endless mystery of what's going to happen next. It's like untangling the biggest, coolest ball of yarn for 20 plus years. Also, Yoko Shimomura doing what she does best. The concept of each level being based around a Disney movie made me want to get it since I'm a huge Disney fan. Oh, sorry. Sofcat7. What made me stay was how whimsically the Disney aspect was intertwined with the FF cameos, and of course, imagine original story and characters. Lands of Masters says, Lost Masters lore and challenge running to be regarded as one of the best players in a non-competitive way. Yeah, if you guys have not seen Lands of Masters, how do I can I open his in a new tab? I don't know if you guys have seen his content, but Jesus Christ.
I got that off, motherfucker. Got it again. Got you again, bitch! Oh, come here. Oh, no! I got greedy. I got greedy.
Oh, no. Tsukihime Mikuro. That's this is someone that I first played 14 with. They joined and helped me through on my born. I remember seeing the commercials and begged my parents for a PS2 and the game. I was upset to learn that I couldn't play Kairi, but I was amazed at how the worlds were made and how magical it all felt. Years later, I returned and I still don't regret it. Yeah, I guess they kind of showed a trio of characters and then just gave you one of them. Echo Ashes says, I grew up watching Disney a lot, so I gave it a shot to see what it was about. I think what kept me around was all the people I got to meet who just happened to be Kingdom Hearts fans, while I'm still very new to this series. Seeing people share and enjoy things they really like makes me happy. Kina Key says, boy, using a giant key to beat up Disney characters got me started with Chain of Memories. Chain of Memories? Really? Whew. What a game to start out with. I think I remember you saying that. Went back a couple years later to KH1, then the lore TM happened, stuck around ever since. Yeah, I guess KH1 was really like, hey, here's Disney and Final Fantasy if you like those two things. And then, you know, KH2 happened and everyone kind of stuck around for this story afterwards. When Ayoshi says, when I was younger, I liked the Disney aspect of it, but KH2 really blew my mind for storytelling. Cliche, I know. I don't hear that a lot, actually. I hear a lot of like KH2 gameplay keeping people around. Not so much the story. It was floored by how much I cared about Roxas as a character I knew nothing about. KH has some problems, but what series doesn't? I will always love these games. Well, okay, when Roxas first showed up, I was like, who is this? Who is this? And then later, I grew to love him. Tony, T-Max04 says, I think Dream Drop Distance's flow motion is what got me into the series. Like, I played the demo at least 30 times on 3DS because of it. Really? Wow. And it was just oozing with style because of the Well Done with the Ucast. But it's funny because I didn't know that Kingdom Hearts sold the world into the Ucast back then. Oh, so interesting. Dream Drop Distance was Tony's first game. Interesting. What is everyone's first game they got into? Kingdom Chains, 7 Hearts says, everything really, but how I got into it was because of my mom bringing the game home to play randomly one day. She and I love Disney movies, so I used to play it together with her, and it kind of just became my thing. Essentially a permanent connection to my mom. Oh, that's so sweet. That's so cool. I hope that Kingdom Hearts becomes a connecting point for me and my kids. He loves Disney, like he loves Pooh Bear. So I feel like that'll be a big hit. Iron and Prisoner says colorful game with emo themes. It was like the emo game. The whole Disney. Sammy Lemmy. I don't know if I've commissioned them, but they have comms open. They have great art. The whole Disney anime concept intrigued me to check out the series. It just looked like a fun time. Plus the character designs looked so cool. Yugin Kai says the music, the atmosphere, and that somewhat corny energy that always keeps me in. The film Blossom says, honestly, I think it was the fact that I started it for Disney but fell in love with the wacky world. There's genuinely touching moments, stories of all kinds, absolutely goofiness, and so much more. Nothing's quite like it, TBH. Yeah, right, I think there's something really charming about all the characters. Says, I always kind of liked the game. I remember me at 2 years old watching my brother play KH1 on the PS2, so it was basically always in my life. It just took some time to actually play it for the first time. Yeah. I was going through to show off some of your level 1 stuff. I don't know if you were here. How you doing, man? Kyle Crampton says, I was quite young when the advertisements for KH2 started to appear on TV around 9 or 10. I saw Disney and a cool key sword and I immediately wanted it. I've stuck to the series since then. Yeah, a lot of people talk about the advertisement that they would see. And they were like, oh, I need that. Steamed Rice 97 says, playing days on the DS in high school and really enjoying the music, writing, atmosphere, and overall vibe. Really? I don't know. I feel like someone else said that DS was their first game too. Or, sorry, not DS, Days. The Son is My Dad. The idea of Disney properties being treated deeply and seriously in a video game. I was too used to movie tie-in platformers and minigame fests. The first time I saw my cousin flying around Hook's ship with Peter Pan and Goofy as a non-Disney RPG character, I had to play it. Lucas, the doorman, says, I was gifted KH1 by some neighborhood teens around age 7. Seemed like the coolest thing, hadn't played anything that complex or dark, and always wanted to hear the rest of the story, not to mention character designs. Yeah, I guess, heartless, like dark creatures destroying your island and sending you careening into space. Yeah, that's probably dark. I never really thought about that. Robohime, KH1 was the first game I truly enjoyed on my PS2. And that being my second home console ever, I felt like it really showed me what video games could be. I thought it was so cool. I didn't even have a memory card, but I played up to Wonderland over and over anyway. I did the same thing! Yes! I did the same exact thing. We didn't have a memory card, and so I really don't enjoy playing like the first few levels of KH1 because I didn't have a memory card when I was growing up, and so I had to like play over and over the first few levels. DMS Mario says, Cage came around at that age where it had that right flavor of something completely new, and I'm still watching Disney shows, so this hits. Do you ever stop watching Disney, though? Do you? I've been playing this game since I was 4. It was so deeply engraved into my very soul that I can't imagine where I would be without it. Met my best friend because of our mutual interest in Kingdom Hearts. Astovi. Yeah, I've met some I've met some amazing people and incredible people through Kingdom Hearts. I love that, like, the fact that, like, Kingdom Hearts is all about connections, and then so many people are connected because of Kingdom Hearts. Like, I love that parallel. Zeno Rodrigo says, I was like 8 or something, and Donald Duck was on the cover. We had the game for a weekend, and the gameplay got me hooked, playing on easy. Finally beating Guard Armor on Sunday afternoon. I think we ordered the game on Tuesday evening. Loved it ever since, except for 2017 to 2019. There was a gap in my life where I stopped playing Kingdom Hearts. I think when Birth by Sleep came out, because I didn't have money for a PSP, and then we tried to, like, download a PSP emulator on my mom's laptop. It was like 2 FPS. Real bad. Tyler Eller. I've been a fan since the first game. I was 10, so young enough to where Disney tie-in games still appealed to me. Saw KH1 had an Aladdin world and the deal was sealed. Really had no idea what I was getting into. And 20 years later. Colin Droge says, honestly, all of it. The fantastic characters, the charming worlds, the fast and frenetic gameplay, the beautiful and emotional music, and the ever-evolving mystery of the story. Yeah, it really was, like, the best invention ever. I remember my friends had a PS3, and I had brought, like, I think I had brought KH2 over to show him, actually, funnily enough. And I was like, oh, no, you need to, like, have a memory card because you need to borrow this. And he was like, no, it just saves on there. And I was like, what? I was like, you don't have to buy a memory card? Smash Assemble says, the Disney Final Fantasy crossover. I'm one for crazy crossovers. What I enjoy most about KH, Cloud being blackmailed by Hades, Aron in the underworld, Zack training with Herc. Since they dropped it entirely, effectively have become lapsed with KH overall. Oh no! There are people that, like, were initially hooked because of Final Fantasy and stuck around for Final Fantasy. So it makes sense that they would maybe drop off if nothing else hooked them. Sean Phillips says, KH2 was my first game, and honestly, I think it was the opening that hooked me, and it's been my favorite franchise ever since. Orso says, at first, when I played KH1 for the first time 18 years ago, it was the Disney characters' worlds, and still to this very day, that's what's keeping me around alongside the gameplay. The story still keeps me interested, but it's not my main reason that I still play KH games. It's a mystery. Michaela says, it's hard to say really. What drew me in the first place was seeing Disney and anime kids on one of the most beautiful covers. When I managed to finish the game, mind you, the first game I've ever completed by myself, how can I not enjoy the series going forward? Oscar Robinson 4, originally it was simply the Disney stuff because I was easily amused as a kid. Come some years later and I realized that it's helped mold me into the person I am. What got me hooked was that a lot of the themes can be attributed to a lot of the mental struggles in my life. Yeah, I've always wanted to do like a series or video talking about how mental health kind of appears in Kingdom Hearts and like the parallels to that. The Gummy Phone says, it was the first video game and console I didn't have to share with my brother. It's simple to get into and was one of the first real action RPGs, a game changer of its time. Today I love it for the big brain nuances within the plot, but most of all its inspirational cast. I think the Gummy Phone is a YouTuber. I thought I'd seen him around a bit. Nightfall Games. I have a chain of memories when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, but I think what hooked me was honestly Kingdom Hearts 2. I don't think I had played a single action RPG as easy and fluid to pick up, and the whole finale in the world that never was really cinched it. Yeah, KH2's ending, one of the best set pieces. Woof. Wayfinder, Gordy Cat. Okay, so back when KH was new, I hadn't seen my sister, who's much older than me, in over 3 years because of family drama. We reconnected after it, not being certain that we ever would mend the family, and she brought KH1 to show me. That year I got my own copy for Easter in my Easter basket. I was instantly in love with it. I remember being hooked from the very beginning. KH challenged what a video game could be for me. It wasn't my first story-focused game, but it by far eclipsed the others in terms of complexity and intrigue. remember the very first time I played every KH game. I remember coming home from school in 6th grade on the day of KH2's release and excitedly flipping through the strategy guide Mom had bought me. Aw, I remember strategy guides. I had to finish my homework before I could play. I remember sophomore year in high school, when I came home to the copy of BBS, I had asked Mom to pick up from GameStop and playing what would become my favorite story in gaming of all time for the first time. Really? Birth by Sleep. Remember in my senior year, named my first Meow Wow in Dream Drop Distance after my recently passed cat, Tigger. I colored her orange, and of course I remember the surreal feeling of staring at the title screen of KH3, crying to the beautiful rendition of Dearly Beloved. Aww. Rose Wild. When I was younger, it was the human character traveling to all the movies I liked. Then I got a bit older and realized the combat in 2 was sick. Then Dream Drop happened, and I was down for the wild story. Yeah, Dream Drop Distance. Like, if you made it through Dream Drop Distance, I feel like you're in for life. Cool Imp says the mix of Final Fantasy and Disney, but I was one of those folks who got the game on release. Yeah, Cool Imp actually was another creator that was coming up during KH3. Ari says, I'm in the same boat as you. I first played Kingdom Hearts as a kid, and I'm pretty sure at first it was, wow, I can explore Disney worlds, and I just loved the characters and got attached to them. Dave's Insane Studio. It was refreshing and restored my hope in video games and encouraged me to try other stuff, not just Euro jank and Western RPGs. It's impossible to put every reason in one tweet. That's the first thing that came to mind. It also just always finds a way to make me happy. Yeah, I hear that a lot. Like, there's certain scenes or characters that are like comfort characters or scenes for people. Part of it is the earnest positive messages. Partly it's me going, okay, so this is happening. The music though. I like the Final Fantasy cameos more though. Some Disney worlds are pretty good. Luke says, I'm not exactly sure. Something clicked with me when I first played KH2 when I was a little kid. While I'm certainly fond of most games in the series, KH2 is the one I revisit most and the one that lives rent free in my head. Cool car. Not gonna lie, for me it was the first game I ever played. I remember watching my older brother play it and I was captivated by the look and the idea in the first place. That's why a lot of my game choices are JRPGs too, I guess. Mascot ENVTuber. I think they like always like my tweets, so like always respond. I liked Final Fantasy a girl I liked showed me Kingdom Hearts and I fell in love with the game. Alex Big Boy, a Guinness World Record book. That's all I had when it came to KH Exposure. Really? That's funny. Man, so many people responded. I was just at work and I like tweeted out something random and then I saw like all the comments pouring in and I was like, oh no. Oh, Dylan. Our neighbors had KH1, so me and my bro would go over and play sometimes. But I'd always get lost in deep jungles, so I never beat a KH game until 2. Something about it just hit the brain right. That's funny. I didn't look at the quote retweets actually. Okay, P-Nax hater. Hey Genji, how you doing? Yeah, Dark Crow's coming up soon, it's crazy. I bought KH2 because it had Donald Duck on the cover and had my 11-year-old brain blown by the anime boy drama. Been stuck for 15 years since, help. My first all excellent when I wasn't even going for it during the Melody Memory demo. I just played it because of Water and all his friends were. Then I started warming up to Sora. I used to think he was annoying and naive, but I still think he's excellent. Zombie, I remember watching my brother play KH2. I got a chance to play them and fell in love with them. 2 is my all-time favorite and has taught me a lot growing up. To never give up and never let the darkness in one's heart take over. There's always a light in the darkness. As their ace, I'm 22, 23 into 2 months. KH has been a part of my life in some form or fashion since I was 3 years old. Couldn't imagine a life without Kingdom Hearts, that's what has me hooked on it now. KH2 was my first game I beat in the series. Of course, 3 to 5-year-old me couldn't beat KH1. KH2 is timeless. This series raised me since I was 3 years old. Actual answer is Donald and Goofy's push towards having optimism in KH1. The scene of Sora smiling is forever stuck in my head. How sincere the story and characters are, it's really all about the portrayal of emotions, how they react one to another. Got KH2 from Blockbuster and the series has owned my ass since childhood. The absolute crack that it is.